Yeah, we live. We live. We are live. I gotta be honest with you. Thank God, I was on stage and didn't firsthand see Miami lose. It's so, it's so Miami. I hate to say, it's so Miami. Jeff Brom is a beast. Just think what Jeff Brom would do with the talent we have. And I haven't given up. I haven't given up. I got Finesse Mitchell going to jump on in a second. I'm asking Finesse Mitchell, is this a good loss? I mean, is there such thing? I mean, it's better lose now than later on. We'll see how well Louisville's do. It's just a thing where every time, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. I'm gonna bring in Finesse Mitchell. I'm bringing Finesse Mitchell right now. Finesse.
Yes, sir.
So I was on stage. When I left the game, it was start of the fourth quarter. They scored. Louisville scored through a route over the middle. I checked out some clips, and we're gonna get into it because Finesse, if you don't know, you were on the 2001 team, 2000 team. Which team were you on again?
I'm a little bit older. A little bit older. I was in the 90s.
The 90s.
Yes.
Yeah.
91. 90 to 90. Yeah.
So which team won the national championship when you were there?
91.
91 won the national championship when Finesse was on the team. I believe y'all had a crushing loss back that year. Was it to Washington or was it what school upset y'all that year? Was there a school that upset y'all and kind of reset everything?
I don't think so in 91.
Did y'all go undefeated?
I want to say so. With Gino Toretta.
Yeah.
And we beat Nebraska. We beat the brakes off of Nebraska. I do know BYU beat us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it might have been the BYU thing. But hey, I see all your comments coming in. Before I get to excuses, terrible refereeing. I mean, do you know, this is a fact I heard. Do you know that those ACC refs have been in 5 upset games? They have ref 5 upset games this year. They have been a part of 5 upset games. That's what I heard EJ Manuel talk about on the ACC podcast. I'm going to get to some comments. We're going to throw them up there. I want to go over some stats because I know I want to get Finesse caught up. Louisville, 21 first downs. Total yards, 367.
Woo,
119 rushing, 31 carries. 23 for 37, 248 yards. 1 turnover. Had the ball 31 minutes and 16 seconds. Miami, 15 first downs, 334 yards, 63 yards rushing, Finesse Mitchell.
Yes.
63 yards rushing, 271 yards in the air, 4 interceptions. We had the ball 28-44 for 28-44. Now, Kane fans, this we're gonna get to your comments, but Finesse.
Yes, sir.
Get caught up, man. Let's get caught up. I saw the clips. I know how the game ended. Luckily, I didn't have to watch it. When I got off stage, I knew they lost, and that's the worst for a comic to be on stage when their team is playing. But man, you were saying some interesting things when we were on the phone. What's your take of the full game?
My take of the full game is that they were extremely scripted. They had the first probably 25 plays already etched in their head.
Yep.
And it was stuff that Miami obviously did not practice on the scout team to prepare our defense for what they were going to see. You can't give Jeff Brom a week off to scheme against the defense.
No.
And the guy is brilliant. So for everybody who just wants Miami to win and manhandle, I get it. And at some point, I was disappointed that we didn't make certain adjustments, but sometimes you believe so much in yourself. But then I started thinking, Come on, Mario. Come on, Heatherman. Come on,
Yeah.
Dawson. This is a 4-1 team.
Mm-hmm.
They no slouches. It's Louisville.
Yeah.
They play us tough every year. And you know who their coach is. So I was very impressed with their D-line. Their D-line to me was just as talented as our D-line, but it was a stalemate. They didn't sack Carson Beck.
No. They didn't need to, though.
They didn't need to.
They didn't need to.
They couldn't stop what we normally do in the passing game. And because we were playing from behind, the running game never really took off because we felt like we had to pass. And unfortunately, Carson Beck had the worst game of his 2025 career.
And I will say, I heard, and I made this statement a lot of times on my podcast, it blew me away when announcers would go and people in the industry would go, well, I'm surprised he's doing this well. And to me, I'm like, this is a dude that won 29 games and only lost 3. Now it's 29-4. So I'm going, either they know something or there's something I don't know. And
I have people in my comments saying that's the Carson Beck I know, and I'm like,
what are you talking? Like,
what are you talking about?
Like that's the Carson Beck that won 29 games. No, it's not. Like, you can't play like that all the time. So that narrative to me, if you're saying this on our comments, personally, I think that's ridiculous comment because the dude is 29-4. You know, I will say this. Everybody say he was lofting the ball up in the air. You got to understand the last 3 games he's done that to Malachi Toney and has scored. The second interception of the game, I will give big credit to that linebacker because I thought it was a good pass. No way, no quarterback would have thought that linebacker was going to make it all the way to that 3rd level that fast. So that was a great play by the line. And sometimes you just get beat by great plays. That was a great play. Now, that you said the 3rd interception was a tip ball. You can't blame Carson for that. But I will tell you this. I did see before I went on stage, C.J. Daniels ran a crossing pattern. It got knocked down. That pass right there, he could have took that into the end zone. C.J. Daniels. It was a crossing pattern. It was like a 3rd and 8 or something like that. It was those little things they didn't execute makes bigger things later in the game. And I just think, to me, if you know you have Ruben Bain and Messidor and that defensive line, and you know that quarterback was getting out the ball in 1.5 seconds. Right. Like, they showed the 1.5 under 2 seconds. Why are you playing 10 yards off the man when it's 3rd and 8 and backpedaling?
Right.
Why are you doing that? The man's got to get out the ball in 2. I would much rather you hold a guy doing a streak than to let him catch a 6-yard pass and just run a little bit and get 2 more, 3 more yards and get the first down. It's just
the first 2 touchdowns. It was all Bell. It was all quick passes and slants going across the middle. Mm-hmm. At some point, like I was saying, you have
no adjustments, Finesse. No adjustments, and they do the same play.
You have to say, I'm going to play up on this man. We just about to play bump and run. And I understand that sometimes zone is warranted. We played a lot of, deep zone when it was 3rd and 18 and 3rd. And we had them in a lot of deep situations. And I think they actually made a first down on that Isaac Brown run one time when it was like 3rd and 18. But for the pass plays that they went for, we kept them in front of the sticks. But all that short stuff, when they're going to timeout, Michael, this happened a lot. They would call a timeout or we would come from commercial break. And I think everybody knew who the ball was going to. And we still didn't. I mean, Bell was still a factor, catching a short pass and taking it another 15, 20 yards or to the house. It was ridiculous, bro. That part was ridiculous.
Now, I'm going to put this comment up there. Hurry Panther 305. 1 game in 3 weeks. We're off because lack of playing. What's your thoughts on that? That is a true statement, though.
Well, yeah. I mean, some people aren't ready to hit. Some people aren't ready to run. And I think the 14-0 definitely shell-shocked us, on defense. And the offense coming out flat didn't help us either. But, and I'm not going to put the entire game on Mario. I'm not going to put the entire game on Beck. But between Beck and Mario and Dawson, it hurt us, bro. It hurt us. I think just Beck just made some really poor decisions, and you just can't be Castellanos out there chucking
No,
the ball downfield when you
he
have
was.
the team we have. Just you don't have to do Hail Marys, and you don't have to just throw it up for grabs, because everybody is a playmaker. So what he was doing the first couple of games very well was checking the ball down and taking
Yes,
what the
yes.
defense gave him.
87 was wide open when he threw that one interception to CJ Daniels. Wide open in the flats.
If you're just going to keep running Malachi and CJ past 15 yards, at some point you got to look to the flats. You just got to keep looking to the flats, because those guys were open the entire game.
Yeah.
And like what we were discussing, if you're not going to throw Lofton or Bowman the ball in 3 quarters, but you want me to get involved in, I know you're supposed to stay ready.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't feel like you're in the game.
No.
And so, yeah,
we talked about Carson Beck. They pushed Carson Beck, and they finally said Lofton ran the wrong route. But you saw Carson Beck say that on television. It's like, why did he run that? But the thing is, you haven't thrown the ball. You haven't gotten Lofton involved in 5 games where you should have. That's on Dawson too.
Yes, he should be averaging like Lofton, who has been there almost 3 years now, maybe 4. He should be getting 3. He should be getting 3 catches a game at least.
No, Lofton's second year. It's his second year, I think.
You sure?
Yeah, he was a freshman with Cam Ward. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Lofton is one of the best athletes on the team.
Yeah.
Lofton has to touch the ball. I think at this point, Lofton, it's just all screwed up, bro. It's just
like here's the thing. I see a lot of people saying it's the refs. I agree. I don't think the fair catch was a fair catch. Am I wrong in saying that?
No, it was not a fair catch.
It was not a fair catch. I think they did, like, you're right. What's his name? Rob Dukes. It was a pass interference on Tooney when even they intercepted the ball with the 3 guys. The guy was holding on to his shoulder pad. But I knew they weren't going to call that because OJ Frederick was holding CJ Bell on the sideline.
I felt like a lot of makeup calls were being given because they were making mistakes. So they were letting some stuff slide, and then they were throwing penalties when you shouldn't really. It should, because that pass, that roughing the passer on Carson Beck, that Louisville guy that kept us in the game or kept the sticks moving, that shouldn't have been a rushing the passer. I mean, what could the guy have done any differently? So when I saw that play, I said, here we go. They're going to say we cheat. Here we go.
Yep.
And it was in our favor, but I had to just call it like it is. I said, if that was against us, I would have been mad as hell. And Malachi Tony throwing his hands out to catch the ball. I mean, a fair catch is your hand straight up. Your hands going out like this, you can do that to clear people out, but that don't mean that's a fair catch. This is a fair catch, and he didn't do that. So I was very disappointed that they stopped that play because he was taking that to the house.
Yeah, the thing that's so amazing about Malachi Tony, you mentioned this when we were talking on the phone, teams are preparing for him and can't stop him. But it's like Bell. I'm sure. I think we talked about this too. I think Miami, since we have a great defense, we think we have a great defensive backfield. They were like, all right, we're not going to change up really on Chris Bell because he's never went up against a defense like this. And we found out after 3 quarters, he is going to be Chris Bell. Why didn't we make an adjustment? Why didn't we bump him at the line every time? Why didn't we try to take him out of the game? Chip him, do everything. Linebackers, just if he runs past you, bump into, like, do something.
All they had to do was look at the game last year. He torched us last year.
Yeah.
Him and the guy that's in the NFL right now torched us last year. And if we didn't have Cam Ward, we would have lost.
Yep.
We would have lost that game. But, I mean, like I said, 3 straight quarters, every first down they went to him. 3rd and 7, 3rd and 15, 3rd and whatever. They kept going to Bell. And, OJ had a very bad game. He had maybe 2 breakups, and he had 1.5. 1.5 drops for interceptions.
We've talked finesse. We talked about this. We talked about how good is OJ. And I don't want to look. We talked about how good he was. The only game he got tested last year
Mm-hmm.
He got torched by Syracuse.
It's by Syracuse.
A lot of teams don't throw his way because I think they're like, oh, let's just go somewhere else. But every time they go up against him, teams have been very successful. If they target him,
Right.
they have been very successful. If you target OJ Frederick,
he reminds me of Jalen Ramsey. We know he can ball. We know he's the man. But if you keep picking on him, I don't know if it's a confidence thing. But even when there was 2 plays where, well, there was one definite play where the ball hit him in his hands. That could have been the game changer. There was another play where he got his hands on the ball and he was mad at himself because he didn't make it.
I saw that too.
But there was 8 plays where he just got torched. And I'm like, yo, you got to chip Isaac, or you got to have a linebacker playing underneath, because here's what Miller Moss is not running the ball, yo.
No. And we knew that.
We knew that. He's not going to take off for the first down. So us playing a zone just didn't make no sense. And us not chipping his star receiver did not make any sense.
The problem is, though,
pick off between the tackles.
But this is the problem. And because Braum is so good, when we did play man-to-man, we couldn't stop Isaac Brown because on a third and
it was probably 3 plays, Michael, where we lost containment and he got out there.
Yeah.
But the dude run a 4.2.
But what I'm saying is, if you in man-to-man and he breaks the line of scrimmage, he getting 20, 30 yards. Yeah. Because he's so fast. So it's kind of, it was more of, we haven't played really a running back that fast. And Isaac Brown, first of all, how did he get out of Miami? Let's talk about that. How did he not go to Miami? And the second thing is when you play man-to-man, Isaac Brown gets out the backfield, he gone. That one first down he ran up the middle, DBs were still running with their receivers.
Yeah.
Didn't even see him. Even see him. Hold on. We got a special, some money coming in. I forgot what it's called. I'm so angry right now. I forgot. It's called a super chat. LOL 305 says Louisville pulled the pants off these 304s, 305s, I think he meant. This was 100% on the coaches and Beck. 100% on the coaches and Beck. I am going to star your comment because you gave some money. There you go. So he's blaming the coaches on it. LOL 305. But I don't think it was the team thought they were too big for the moment or anything like that. I just think Braum really shook the defense the first 2 series. Right. And they recovered because there was a time the defense went 6 possessions in a row and stopped them.
Right.
Which is a lot, but Beck kept throwing interceptions.
We played horrible enough to win.
Mm-hmm.
I repeat, we played horrible enough to win that game.
Question.
You weren't gonna have Fletcher with 80 yards and Brown with 75 yards and Lau with 80. It wasn't that type of game. You weren't going to have a receiver with over 100 yards in pass catching, even though Malachi Tony with combined whatever he does always is over 100 yards. But just like Testaverde probably had one of the best teams in college football and threw 4 interceptions to Penn State, it just felt like that all over again. Even when Miami had the chance to tie the game up and take it into overtime, I don't know if that's a coach's decision because I was at home saying, play to win, baby. Play to win. Chuck it to the end zone. And he just did a 5-yard out to the flat, and it got picked. And no field goal. We lose by 3 with being in field goal position. So it was just.
Let me ask you this. This is a hypothetical. They go to overtime. Does Miami win, though, against Braum? Because the defense was playing pretty well.
I can't say we were going to win in overtime. That's why I was like, get a touchdown. I was like, yo, man, you have 50 seconds and you're on the 45-yard line. It is too far to kick the ball. If you run it up the middle, you may get a little bit closer, but they got to the point Michael, where it was 30-something seconds, and I think they was on like the 30, 35, because it was a kickable field goal to be had if we had just took two knees and centered the ball. But we threw another pass and another pick.
So this is the point I'm going to make, and it's something off what you said. Miami played horrible enough to lose. So does that really show
horrible enough to win?
Horrible enough to win. They played horrible enough to win.
Mm-hmm.
Does that really show you, though,
how good we are?
That's exactly. Okay. Yes.
Bro, yeah. We were supposed to, everybody tomorrow and on Monday morning on Sports Center, they were going to say Louisville had every opportunity to win that game and they couldn't cash the check. That's what everybody was supposed to. They beat up Miami in the run game. They stopped the passing game, and yet Miami won 27-24. Yeah. How did that happen? That's what they were supposed to say. And mind you, the game was out of hand until Isaac Brown fumbled. Yeah. And I felt so bad for this guy because he fumbled in the end zone last year. Yeah. And everybody thought he was hurt. And then the announcer said, nah, he's not hurt. The coach told him to take his helmet off. Go sit on the bench. And they put the other running back in. And you know who had a hellified game?
Who?
Keontae Scott, man.
That dude's a beast.
One of my favorite players.
Yeah, he
brings it locked in. Oh man. You've seen Miami defenses in the past.
Yeah.
We have always struggled at the nickel position or the star position or whatever you call it. But this guy is really shut down. And he's great in the run game.
For all the people watching, is Keontae, I think he's is he a senior or
Yeah, he got to be a senior, bro. He done been to like 3-5 different programs.
Okay. Because I know our cornerbacks are all like sophomores.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So look, I got a couple of, like, get in your comments. Our comments are going crazy right now. It was a fluke loss. Who scheduled 2 bye week? I get it.
I can't say it was a fluke loss, man. I what I'm saying is Louisville at 4-1 is that team to me. What I saw on their defensive line,
yeah,
we could not move those boys.
No, we couldn't.
To me, they had a bane of their own. But the dudes in the middle, nope, we weren't pushing these guys around.
Can I tell you what I thought was so brilliant by Louisville too? They were submarining on the line. They were just falling. And did you ever see that? Where they would just kind of fall and not go after the knees of the defensive lineman, but you know what a submarine is, where they kind of just fall to the ground and the players push down and then they would throw a quick pass. Just think about, so they were doing that during the game. So now you got the defensive line going, all right, are they going to fall or am I going to go? So before you fully go, you're like, it was interesting, the mind games, the offensive line, who got beat up in every game pretty much besides ours. They couldn't rush against anybody besides. But it's also we're a Super Bowl to teams. They scheme up harder than they ever do for teams. So I walk away from this. The only reason I walk away feeling okay, because it was Braum. If it was Georgia Tech, Duke, or anybody like that, I would be very upset.
If we lose against Georgia Tech this year, I don't know what I'll do if we lose to Georgia Tech 3 years in a row. I don't know what I will do.
We got Juan Manuel. I like to call him Juan. That's Juan Manuel, but I call him Juwan, where he's half black and Hispanic. He goes, Michael, OJ's actually playing very well. That crossing route. Is he playing very well, or people just don't go to his side?
I think OJ Frederick and Xavier Lucas are two of the best cornerbacks in college right now. The two of the best cornerback tandems. The reason we know that is because we're not complaining about them every week.
It's true.
And we have played some hellified teams.
But what I'm asking you, and what we have seen is when you go after OJ, if you really say, I'm going to go after OJ, he has not come through. If a team says, so, I mean, yes, he's a great player, and I'm not getting on him. What I'm saying is the teams that said we're not scared of OJ and we're going after him, he has not performed well.
Yeah.
Bit like Syracuse last year, this
Yep.
team this year. And it's only 2 teams that I remember. And I think another team this year went after him a couple times. They got the best of him, but it was like back and forth with him. But if a team says we're going to throw 12 balls against OJ Frederick, and we're going to put our best receiver and OJ has to cover him, and that's all we're going to go to. We're going to go to it a lot. OJ has not won those battles. Not yet.
Well, all I can say is that Heatherman had ample opportunities. OJ was not beat deep on the sideline itself.
No, he wasn't.
Maybe 1 or 2 out routes when it counted. But still, you knew the ball was going to Bell. So I still feel like he shouldn't have completed that play. But nobody went down the field on either sideline on our cornerbacks. Nobody. It was just too much team speed coming across the middle.
Yeah.
Our safeties would be caught flat-footed, and our cornerbacks would be chasing from behind. So to me, in those situations, you just got to play man up and have your safeties really lock in on anything coming out of the flats while your cornerbacks are running with their back turned.
And this is my question I was asking Finesse. Why don't you give, if you see OJ getting beat all game, why don't you give him help? Do you think it's going to change?
Is that for me? I mean,
No,
I would have brought OJ up closer to the line.
Yes.
Miller Moss isn't going to run the ball, and therefore he needs 3 to 4 seconds to hold on to that ball. But guess what happens in 3 to 4 seconds? You're getting slammed. You're getting slammed to the ground by Bain. But if you keep getting the ball out in under 2 seconds, and they just running across the middle and running. Bro, I mean, our defensive line was null and void. We had no push up the middle.
No.
We had no pressure up the middle. We had nobody coming around the edge and affecting the quarterback. We move him off his spot, but I don't think anybody got any sacks tonight.
No. And that offensive line, I believe, was rated 112th in the country.
I remember you saying that. And now I'm worried because I'm like, okay, is that the trick? Because everybody has dope running backs.
Now, when Rob Duke said, where was Bain and Messi? But see, goes back to last year. If you know the quarterback's going to get the ball out in 1.5 seconds, you can't get to him. Don't blame the defensive line for that. Right. You can't blame them when that's on the defensive backs and the linebackers. Exactly. You cannot blame a defensive line for pressuring a quarterback to get the ball out under 2 seconds. That's ridiculous for blaming Bain and Messi for that.
To me, Zachariah Poyser had the best comment post-game. He said that D-line has been making us look like superstars all year. And this game, we should have been helping them out.
Yeah.
That it was just on us. The people were getting the ball out too quick, and therefore it was just a null and void thing. Now, Bain was making a lot of tackles.
Yeah, he was.
Game.
Yeah.
He was coming from the backside and making a lot of tackles and chasing the runners down. Our linebackers played okay. We just didn't have an answer for their passing game. And Miller Moss was very accurate tonight. And they have been saying that all week. The boy can throw the ball.
Outside the picks, Antoine Nelson says outside the picks, they basically beat us throwing the ball to one receiver. 100%. 100%.
I don't even know anybody's name on Bell. I don't know anybody else's name. I know Isaac Brown and I know Bell. That's all I know. Which goes to show you. And Mario has to make this decision, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
In the passing game, okay, we know how dope Malachi is because we know everybody's going to scheme for him, and yet he still gets over 100 yards. But I just don't like it when you see the kid from the USF game, Joshua Moore, not touch the field. I do not like it when you have. Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me as an offensive coordinator, Shannon Dawson, you're going to bring in a third running back to mess up that chemistry, but you're going to stay with them 2 receivers, Malachi Tony and Daniels, the entire game, every game, just like you did last year with Georgia Restrepo?
You know what's crazy to me is you play Joshua Moore against Notre Dame, but you don't play him against Louisville. Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. You don't think CJ Daniels need a breather? You don't think Malachi Tony need a breather? You take them out for maybe one series, but not at the same time. Like, bro, there's so much talent on that sideline. Mm-hmm. Mark my words, JoJo is out of here.
Well, that's why
he's not going to be a Cane next year. No. I don't know if he stays the whole season, but he's definitely not going to be a Cane next year.
Now, I know we don't know, but what do you think happened?
I think he got hurt, and I think he did not play to the standard in practice that you need to play to beat out the people who took your spot. Mm-hmm. So therefore, but here's what I say to that. Marion, number 0, don't have to be on the field every single offensive snap.
Yeah. And he did make a good catch, though. He did make a one.
And neither does CJ Daniels.
Yeah.
So if you JoJo traded Joshua Moore and Upshaw, and you can't, and Tony Johnson, and poor Nikar, he out of here too.
Yeah.
But if you can't get somebody 3 or 4 snaps a game, I didn't like Heatherman playing Messidor and Bain the entire game.
Yeah.
Last game. That was unnecessary. When you got Pickett and Bryant on the sideline.
So Armando says they were chop blocking to prevent blocking passes. So that's what I was saying. When they were throwing those quick passes, mm-hmm. the Louisville line was chop blocking to make the players put their hands down, which I haven't seen this year. And it's like, guess what? Other teams are going to start doing that. That's one way to stop them from pass rushing is to go after the legs. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I need a Miami Hurricane fan that's watching this right now to explain something to me. We don't play Georgia Tech. We don't play Virginia. If they do go, no.
Oh, I was looking forward to playing Georgia Tech.
So if they go and they don't play each other. So right now you got undefeated teams, Georgia Tech, you got Virginia, you got Duke. Duke plays Virginia or Georgia Tech this week or next week. So one of those is going to be defeated. But if 2 teams go undefeated and Miami wins out.
We ass out. We lost. We lost the game.
No, I don't think you are because you'll be ranked so high.
Yeah, you'll be ranked though. You'll be ranked. They're not going to put – and – we'll be a wild card, I guess, or whatever
you call it. You'll be a wild card.
Because they will not be able to say that there are 12 teams better than Miami if we win out.
If we win out. So people in the comments that know more about that, I mean, it's going to be – but this is my thing. Miami should not be losing ACC games. I don't care if it's to Brom. I don't care. Like, that's where we know, and let's be honest, I'm being honest right here, and I said this at the beginning of the year. We need to get to a point where when we see games on the schedule, we're not like, oh, my God, we got to play Pitt. We got to play Virginia Tech in the cold. We got to play Louisville because of Brom. Let me ask you this. Do you think Ohio State loses to this team, Louisville?
The Louisville I saw tonight?
No, just I don't think they do. See, that's the difference between Louisville.
I don't think Ohio State is going to lose to anybody.
But I do. But here's my thing. We all thought our program was something. I'm not saying it's not, but when you're still losing ACC games, you're not there yet. Like, Miami should be terrorizing the ACC. Like, with all the talent, with all the players Mario gets, should be these shouldn't even be games. Like, I don't care if you got Brom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't think like that. I think that when you have 5th and 6th year players in every division, no matter what the name of the conference is, you can get beat on any given night, especially if you are schemed against well. And you have a great offensive mind. And the only thing I'm praying for right now is that they get it together, because you know what might be the next L? Another offensive genius, and his name is Red Lashley. And that dude know everything about Miami personnel, and half of his players are our players, and the homie Chris Johnson out there who run a 4-2 is balling, just like Brashard Smith did. So it's, to me, if your defense is not ready to make adjustments mid-game, and you're going up against a mind like Lashley or Braum, and these people are executing, then you plan on your heels.
Well, it seems like Miami is very strong in the middle, but weak on the outsides. But they've always been weak on the. I think they're stronger on the outsides this year than last year, obviously. But the way to be, but I can't say that because they didn't. Louisville really, the big runs I saw were between the tackles. I mean, it was between the like.
Bro, let me tell you another major thing that hurt Miami. We believe our own hype.
Mm-hmm.
Not only do we believe our own hype, you can tell our offensive coordinator, the way he calls these plays, believes our own hype. You were not moving that Louisville defensive line, bro. No. They were coming off the edge and they were coming up the middle. And it was hard to get one run. Usually, Fletcher will break through every now and then. Brown will break through every night. That was none of that all night. They shut the run down.
Miami got one sack.
I think they got that sack on a blitz.
Mm-hmm. I think it was
on the defensive back. It wasn't our D line.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably Keontae Scott.
EB says Louisville planned to win. Cristobal planned to run his plan, and it failed. No game plan change. But look, I think like you said, I think the coaches believe the hype. I don't think it's the players. I think they're like, man on man, we're better than you, and we're going to beat you.
Yeah.
And I think that's the curse of Miami this year is like, because really there is no team that should be able to line up and just beat Miami like that.
Right.
And to be honest with you, Miami's defense, they went 6 to 7 series without having that team score. But since they gave up so many interceptions, they were always out there. That's hard to do. If you give a team that many possessions, they're going to score. You know what I mean? So, I mean, this time it was on the defense, and it was on the offense.
No, it was on
this time it was on the offense for giving up the ball where the defense had to be out there so much. But like you can't to go against a Braum offense to give up only 24 points with 4 interceptions.
Right.
Come on now.
Right. How many times would they have even gotten a chance to be on the field if we're driving down the field, eating up the clock and scoring 7?
That's what I'm saying. The game becomes a lot shorter. The defense isn't out there longer. But that's the only comforting thing in this loss to me is, first of all, if it is a good loss, it's you learn from it, hopefully. The coaches learn from it. And you realize playing your worst, you still almost won the game.
Yeah.
And to me, as a fan that really follows Miami, it shows me that if the coaches don't fail the team like they did tonight, the team is very good still. And the team, to me, can make a run in the playoffs still. I'm a hold true to that. And I just think you saw Carson Beck's worst game. He's not another game this year. He's going to throw 4 interceptions.
Right. Yeah, Because
I think
the comment you made about if the coaches don't fail the team.
Yeah.
Carson Beck had a lot to do with that tonight.
100%. 100%. He did. Tonight. But it makes me feel a certain way that knowing they played the worst game they're probably going to play all year, and they still were in a position to tie that game at the end.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how good this team is. And they had a bad night, man. They had a terrible night. But still.
And everybody kept saying trap game. Everybody who was hitting my phone was saying trap game, and I was blocking people because I'm like, y'all, this is bad juju. Why y'all keep saying that? We're going to handle these boys. Sure enough.
But I don't think it was a trap game. I just think they got out-schemed by Braum in that first 2 series. When they went up 14-0, I was like, okay, I knew Miami was going to come back, but it's like it takes time with Miami's offense to come back. That one first touchdown they got with 2 long throws and then they scored, that's not Miami's offense really.
Right.
So when they got to that position, I go, okay, they'll probably tie it by middle, about a quarter and a half in, and then they'll just start leaning on them. But when you're throwing 4 interceptions, you can't do that.
I'm not saying you shouldn't play Jordan Lyle, but you got to show me what is making you continue to play Jordan Lyle when you had a two-headed monster that was basically winning football games for you. Nobody had no answer for Fletcher and Brown splitting carries and them getting a feel for the game. Anybody who plays running back will tell you, you got to get 15 carries just to get a feel for the game. And with everybody getting 4 carries apiece, I mean, that ain't going to do it.
To me right now, Dawson needs to make the same decision he made about JoJo Trader or Joshua Moore not being in the game.
Yeah.
Like your worst decision, and no disrespect to Lyle, but it looks off. I compared it on my podcast the other day when Miami won their last game. It's like salsa dancing. You got a rhythm, you got a groove. These big boys are running the ball, and then you misstep, and then the rhythm is all off. I think as of right now, when Lyle gets in the game, everything just seems off.
Yeah.
It just seems off.
And I don't know how it's in the game. 9 times out of 10, you're giving the ball to him. With Fletcher and Marty Brown in the game, you still don't know what's about to happen.
Why don't you throw the passes you throw to Marty Brown out of the backfield to Lyle?
Don't know. Maybe Lyle can't catch. Because they definitely know Marty Brown is the best catcher in the backfield. And Fletcher is right after him. But you know, I just had hope. And I said, yo, we really gonna lose. And then when they got that fumble, I said, we really about to win. It's gonna be the ugliest win ever, but we are about to win. And I just couldn't believe he threw another pick, bro. So that just
and I do want to give the defenses props. I mean, Louisville averaged 38 points, only gave up 24 points with 4 interceptions. So this is not, look, the defense, we were kind of like baking them at the beginning of this, but let's be honest. The defense was out there way too many times. They were out there 4 more times than they should have been.
Yeah. And
they stopped these boys. They stopped Louisville. I wish I knew the exact number. And if somebody could look this up, but they stopped these boys like 6-7 times in a row.
We shouldn't have lost to them, bro. That's the bottom line. We at home. We shouldn't have lost to them. Our personnel matched their personnel, and you just cannot come back from 4 picks.
The Louisville lip. Somebody from a Louisville fan. I love when other fans jump in and says, "What y'all play down to your competition? We always beat y'all." It's true.
Yeah, it's always a tough game.
It's because of Braum, though.
Yeah.
Just think, and no disrespect to Mario, but just think if Braum had Miami.
Yeah. Yeah.
We lost this. Chris Gahn says we lost this game in the trenches, which Mario preaches.
Yes, we did. I keep telling them, I said they believe their own hype, but they didn't you have to realize the reason you don't have a 100-yard rusher or a combined yardage, a combined effort of 100 yards between 2 running backs is because their D-line was pretty good, bro.
Yeah.
Their linebackers were outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one of them, and they safeties was good. The personnel matched. The only difference in the game to me was Carson Beck throwing 4 picks. Yeah. And everybody in my group chats talking about Mario did it again. I'm like, Mario don't play quarterback. Mario not even calling the offensive plays.
Yeah.
So it's like at some point, all Mario is going to do is manage the clock and say, go for it or not go for it.
Yep.
But when they come over to the sideline and Dawson is in Beck's ear, you got to say, what do you see? What happened? What are you thinking? And what do you think will work?
Yeah.
Who is getting manhandled on that O-line? Where are you feeling pressure? Because clearly the center was not centering. He was not moving anybody.
Yeah. But I mean, but for
let me give a shout out, though. Let me give a shout out to Mark. I'm telling you, man, this Markel Bell and this Maui Noah, them boys are good.
They're real good.
Them boys are really good, bro. Mm-hmm. So Carson Beck just made some he looked like the Florida State quarterback, except he wasn't running the ball. The decisions he made to just throw it up. And it's fun when we on the receiving end.
Yeah.
But the way he was doing it, I'm sure Louisville fans was like, what is going on? This is crazy. He just kept handing them the ball.
Thank you for the super chat, Hurricane Pete. Lofton was open all night. And the time he was covered, Beck throws it to now Beck says that was Lofton. Me and Finesse was shocked that Beck threw Lofton under the bus.
Yeah.
It was like, yo, that's not on me. He ran the wrong route. But let's be honest, Beck was trying to take the blame, but they kept peppering him. They kept at, well, what happened? What? And he goes,
but if I'm Lofton, I'm gonna pull him to the side and I'm gonna say, that's your first and last time to do that, Playboy, because a real leader won't do that.
Yeah.
I don't care whose fault it is. It's always your fault. He ran the wrong route. What? I couldn't believe he said that.
I was shocked because you saw the press conference before me, and
I couldn't believe he said that.
I mean,
I got to get better. It starts with me. That was a tough loss. Oh man, dude made a great play on the ball. He broke on the ball. That wasn't even Lofton's man. It was the safety. He just jumped the route.
Yeah.
But to get on TV and say, yeah, that last pick wasn't my fault. That's basically what he said. Come on.
So they're saying, Chris Gons is saying, for Miami to salvage the season, we got to win the rest of the way. And I see some people saying, like we talked about, we'll make a wild card if we win the rest of the games, unless we make the ACC championship. But if Georgia Tech and Virginia go undefeated, or Duke, we won't make that game. Which honestly, I've always said I would rather not play the ACC championship game. And this is when we were undefeated, when there could be 3 teams that were undefeated. Why play that game? Because you're the highest ranked. You're still going to be in the top 4, but not anymore.
I don't understand how Georgia Tech, Virginia, and Duke have a shot at being undefeated. I don't understand.
Well, Duke is going to play either I think they play Georgia Tech or Virginia. So one of them will be defeated. So there will only be 2 possible undefeated teams now in the ACC.
Like, is everybody beating up on Clemson? Clemson just totally trash.
Yeah.
Like, now we need Clemson to be good, and they just trash. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But
hold on. The Phil had the A and B gaps filled all game. We went running. We weren't running with any RB tonight. That's happening. Let me just go through some of these comments here. Miami needs to win the rest of their games impressively for them to be taken seriously. I made this comment at the beginning of the game. Miami's defensive backs, and they're way better than last year, but the bad angles, the stupid penalties, just team-wise, and just the sloppy play. It looked like 2024 and before.
Can I tell you something? When I played, we beat people a lot of times like we were scoring the 40s. It looked like a Cam Ward game, except with a defense. So a lot of the games were 40 to something, and they would score 17 points and under. And that only really Florida State would be the main challenge until we got to the bowl game. Mm-hmm. But when I tell you the difference between those teams in the 90s and these teams, Michael, we had over 100 yards in penalties every game.
True.
We were the most penalized, celebrating, personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct, pre-snap penalties. It was just like, why can't we clean this up?
Yeah.
And it's been the last 3 games, bro, where Miami has almost 80 yards in penalties, pre-snapped or otherwise. And I don't know. Now that's on coaches.
Yeah.
To me, you know.
So we're about to get off of here, but I want to, you know how we said Carson Beck with the 4 interceptions and Mario you can't blame Mario for that. What about this comment? Mario had poor game planning and the team wasn't prepared. That's on the coach. What do you say to that then?
Yes, we lost. That's on the coach.
Okay.
It's only so much I can say as a spectator watching. When you lose a game, you're going to say, that team was better than this team. That team was supposed to lose. We see that all day in college football.
Yeah.
When what's his name? Arch Manning beats some team and he's doing this and everybody's but then you play Florida and you lose.
Yeah.
I think that's on the coach. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So when we play a Louisville team and we lose, I'm gonna say, wow, man, we didn't get up for that game. That's on the coach. But here's the major difference. The quarterback threw 4 picks and the coach don't play quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot overlook that. 4 interceptions. Who's going to win a football game, pros or little league, if there's 4 fumbles recovered by the other team or 4 interceptions recovered by the other team? It's impossible to do, damn near.
Yeah. Well, all right.
Louisville was not trash. So you can't give the football team 4 opportunities extra to have the ball on offense.
What are you folding, man? You folding laundry?
Yeah.
That's the only way your wife will let you do the podcast. That's the only way your wife will let you do the podcast if you fold laundry.
I got 3 text messages like, them clothes better be folded if you're doing that.
All right. I love it. I love it. Well, I'll let you go, Finesse. You know, I love having you on, man.
Yes,
so
sir.
I still think Miami's one of the best teams in the country. I think they played so bad, the worst you'll ever see them play, and they still had a chance to win that game. What's your final thoughts? For Finesse's final thoughts.
Miami Hurricane fans, I mean, I know we the most bandwagonist clique ever, but just give the boys grace. Carson had a bad game. Yes, we run we run the ball twice, we kick a field goal, and who knows what happens in overtime. We'll never know. But we played a good Louisville team that had 2 weeks to prepare when they had a great offensive-minded coach. It showed them boys not slouches. So now we just got to win out, and we got to stay faithful, and let's just see what happens.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do they win out? who they lose to, you think?
I can't say. But it's Mario.
Okay. So you got
Pitt, you got SMU, and you got Pitt, you got SMU, and there's one other team. I'm not worried about NC State. I'm not worried about Virginia Tech. But that Pitt on the road and the last game of the season.
That's Pitt, yeah.
When have we showed up for the last game of the season?
But I will. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Hold on. Let me tell you the final games here. We got let's see. We got Stanford, not worried about Stanford. SMU, we got Syracuse, not as good. NC State, Virginia Tech, and Pittsburgh. So Pitt and SMU are the games you're worried about. I mean, we're worried about all the games, to be honest with you. But
I think Syracuse is going to score some points on us because they still have dope receivers, and their quarterback is no slouch. It's how you call the game, but I think we should be able to run the ball against Syracuse and our receivers. I just want him to get more receivers in the game. You know, we have some talented guys on the sideline, and I want them to get more edge rushers in the game to give our boys some breathers. Because, like we saw tonight, Messidor got hurt. And Ruben Bain didn't look like Ruben Bain, but he was out there a lot. You know, bring in number 12, Lightfoot, and bring in Pickett or Malik Bryant. But we got like 6 more edge rushers to just rotate, man. Get some fresh bodies in there.
So Syracuse, their quarterback, Stephen Jelly's hurt. They got a freshman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so I think the big games is SMU is very scary now because Rhett Lashley ain't no joke.
Yes.
And Pitt, look. I still think Miami's going to win out. I predicted them to go to 11-1 and I said if they were going to lose a game, it would be Pitt at the end of the season because it's cold. But I still believe they're going to go 11-1. I think it's going to be interesting if they don't make the ACC championship. NCAA will, or the college football players will have to decide, because how do you put Miami in and they're not even in the conference championship unless the loser, you put Miami in over the loser. You know what I mean? Like, how do you?
I don't think we'll have 2 undefeated ACC teams playing for the championship. That's
Well,
one.
if you don't have 2 undefeated teams, then Miami will be in the championship.
Right. And now here's what I hate about this loss.
Mm-hmm.
Going into every game now doesn't seem as fun, knowing that we lost, knowing that we got this little blemish. Because as soon as we lost, I was like, who we got next week? I don't even care. You know what I mean? Because it just feels like, oh man, we lost to Louisville at home. That's huge. They beat us on the road.
Yeah, look, and Ralph says, man, all that folding stuff is calming me down. It's therapy. You just start
therapy,
bro.
It's therapy, because I would have been pacing. I would have been really like.
Well, that's why I wanted to get you on this podcast, because you, like me, we just had it to talk it out. And after this, I can go to bed. Like,
yeah, I can go to bed. Okay, we lost. And everybody who loves to hate on Miami, and everybody who on my phone time, I can't believe y'all lost to Louisville. I mean, it's just like, it's whatever. You know what I mean? But I do know that we're gonna be 11-1.
Yeah.
And we're gonna
you think we're gonna be 11-2? Stop lying.
No, we're gonna be 11-1.
Okay, good.
Trust me, I have heard. I'm from Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I have so many people in Atlanta on my phone saying, "Oh, Carson Beck balling. Like, why wouldn't he be balling? Oh, wait and see." And I'm just like, really? And tonight I'm kind of like, oh, because the last time I saw this dude, he threw like 2 picks in one game. And now, how do you throw 4?
So he got 6 picks now, I think.
Bro, he threw a pick for every million we paid him. Like, how do you throw 4 picks in one game? Louisville was not that good.
No, not their secondary. Not their secondary.
It was him, bro. He
got greedy. He got greedy.
Just throwing the ball up for grabs.
Yeah.
And what makes it so infuriating is when the ball is up that high, you see the whole field, and you see 2 receivers from Miami just covered, wide open in the flat. So why are you forcing the ball down the field?
No, finesse. We've calmed down.
Okay,
we're done with this.
Yes.
Miami gonna win the rest of this game. We fold and close. I still believe that Miami is so good because it took their worst game and they still almost won. That's how I'm gonna go to bed tonight.
It would have been a horrible win, but we should have at least got the field goal. But you know what? It's
done.
It's done.
See, this is why I needed to talk to you, just to get this off. We needed to talk this out. And this, everybody watching right now, I know you needed this too. Miami lost. It's fine. We're going to be fine. I still believe in the team. I know, like I talked about OJ Frederick, I still believe in OJ. I still believe in everybody. And all you people going against our defensive line in my comments right now, where was Bain and Messi? You just need to know.
Yeah.
They didn't have the opportunity to get there because that quarterback was getting out the ball in 1.5 seconds.
It was a brilliant game plan.
Brilliant game plan.
And I mean, they ran it, and Louisville made mistakes, bro. And they got the job done.
Yep. All right, man. All right, my man. Have a great night. Go Canes. Go Canes. We with you. Later.
Later.
All right, Finesse.
All right, brother.